Hi. Many of our people have been asking for the Pope to visit our lands and to deliver an apology. This historical journey is an important part of their healing journey.
As we approach Monday, when Pope Francis is expected to apologize on First Nations land for the legacy of residential schools, we wanted to take time to listen to elders, chiefs, residential school survivors, and their families who have shared with us this week as they reflect on the meaning of the visit and what they want Canadians to hear about truth.
I guess I'm happy that this is taking place. A time to voice our concerns, our way of life, things that we encountered as we went through residential schools.
It was definitely to kill the Indian in every child. And those children, including my father, who committed suicide because of it. And my aunt and uncle, and so many of our families lost a whole side of their family because of the trauma.
My brother was 16 when he came home. First thing he did is he went and hung himself. He was only 17 years old. So he came home, but he didn't come home. And so we think about all those, what could have happened.
Finding the graves, the 215 graves that has happened, what is done is like a ripple effect that filtered throughout the entire country. And as that number grew, more and more people started to participate. And it wasn't only the Indigenous people that were participating. It was the non-Indigenous people that started to get in there and started to learn and understand. And it sounded like it only just happened. It's been going on for over 100 years. And so now, how do we move forward is we need to start to incorporate that, make it the fabric of the education system that's all across this country, as well as sharing the stories, whether it's at church, whether it's in those communities.
I come from a very large family. That's 18 of us, 19 of us, and along with my parents, we were all in residential school. We added up our years one time. It came up to a little over 100 years. That's 100 years, a residential school, one family.
It is very important for the Pope to apologize. It's not going to take away the fact that, personally, it's not going to take away the fact that I was raped when I was young, or I was sexually abused, or, that our parents didn't know how to parent. It's not going to take away any of that stuff. But what it will do is it will incite meaningful action.
There's some steps that need to be taken within this country. I think people need to realize and recognize when they see a Métis or an Inuit or a First Nations person battling with addictions, whether it be drugs or alcohol, that person does not want to be there. That person is a survivor. A person is a survivor also of intergenerational trauma. So when you see that person, that person is dealing and coping with some loss that they have endured.
So it's not just an apology to our people. It's the church itself admitting that they were wrong. That is the important thing. The importance of ensuring that the church is held responsible for what they did.
And to not look at it as, they're looking for another apology. No, we're not. The healing is happening within us. But when the apology is made, it's a validation. And that validation is the first step for some people.
I am a practicing Catholic Christian person. I go to Mass. I believe in that. But sometimes I'll sit there and I ask the Creator, Waka, Namahunino, God, do you hear me? How come? Why did you put us this way? Why are they different? Why are we treated different? What did we do wrong? We opened our hearts to everything. When they came to this land, we showed them how to survive, but in return, they showed us something different.
It starts a process, or it helps in their process of healing, because I know from personal experience that healing is ongoing. It's not just instant instant coffee. It's not just all of a sudden change.
I'm glad this past week I finally had an opportunity to meet one of our mental health workers in our community. He came to visit me Sunday because I was getting anxious up until this time because I thought, you know what, I've been trying to help people be strong, but many times we don't look at ourselves and say, well, what can we do? So we had a chance, an opportunity, my wife and I, to sit with one professional, and he just kind of slowly talked about, okay, this is what your expectations are going to be. Don't try and come up with solutions at that moment. Wait a while, because trauma it can be a hard thing for many people, and there's cycles that people will go through.
So we do expect justice, and we expect a longer-term strategy that we will approach the Prime Minister about in the next short while, and we'll ensure that the Government of Canada is held responsible and works with us in a partnership.
And Indigenous leaders from across Canada hoping we can all acknowledge the legacy of trauma, and those dealing with it reach out to supports available. From Edmonton's River Valley on Treaty 6 territory, Carly Robinson, City News.